Electroheads, Eilis here, and today I've got another electric bike to review for you. Now, as you may know, we are a London-based channel, which means that electric folders are our bread and butter. I am always on the lookout for the next trailblazer, and today I have with me a brand that is only 4 years old, but they have caused quite the stir, and they've been getting reviews online like best buys, best value. So let me introduce you to the MiRider One. There's a bunch of stuff that I want to talk about, but to keep things simple, I'm going to run you through the top 5 things you need to know about the flagship MiRider One. But also, before we go any further, just a heads up, I've also been given exclusive access to a brand new product from MiRider, who only 2 people currently have right now. Me being one of those people. So if you think this is cool, just wait until you see the new product. We're going to show you that a little bit later in the video, so stick around. But first, let's go for a ride. Number 1, I want to talk about size and quality. So MiRider are really fantastic at taking note on people's feedback and trying to make improvements. So they've actually got a community for people who buy a MiRider, and they've got a lot of people there who are giving feedback and giving their thoughts on the ride itself. And this is actually the 3rd generation of the MiRider One. So these guys are reiterating and listening to that feedback as they go. Sizing wise, this is a 16-inch wheel folder, and as we all know, what can come with that is some compromises, whether that be with the stability or the handling of the ride. But overall, I'm really impressed with what this has to offer for the kind of electric bike that this is. So the way that they've actually set up the handlebars is they've got a wider grip here, which not only gives you a lot more comfort, but actually it gives you just a bit more control when you're just taking those corners, just moving those wheels a little bit. It just makes it that little bit less twitchy than you would find with your average 16-incher. I've also been trying this bike out on pavements, roads, kind of urban off-road, you might call it, aka some grass, and it handles really well. So MiRider actually started off by launching this and aiming it at people who have camper vans, who go touring, and I can really see this bike working for not just the city commutes, because that's a little bit obvious, isn't it? I can really see this if you're like going across to Europe, you guys want to basically set up shop with your camper van or tent or whatever you want to do, take these bikes out for a ride, go a little bit off-road. It really handles beautifully. And that all circles back to the fact that MiRider have really gone for the quality components. For the price bracket that this is about 1.5k currently. They have really picked out exactly what they need to make this bike perform to the best of its abilities at that price point. For example, when you take a frame like this one, which has a hinge in the middle, you would expect it to be less rigid, but MiRider have come up with a solution. They've actually gone for, instead of an aluminium frame that you do see on other electric bikes out in the market currently, they've gone for magnesium. So magnesium is actually lighter than aluminium, but it still has that resilience and that dampening capability as well, so that you can ride comfortably, securely, and this is gonna last you. It's gonna stand the test of time. First of all, let's look at the stand. Look at this thing. It's absolutely diddy, but it's got a big girth on that, hasn't it? Unlike a lot of foldable bikes, usually their max capacity is about 100 kg. This one goes up to 120 for max rider weight, which is incredible. That really opens it up to more riders. And also, speaking about rider weight, let's talk about height. That's super important. This bike is so versatile. It can take 5 foot to 6'4" riders, and that is all because, again, very good components here that MiRider have added on. This telescopic adjustment that you can do, which, I don't know if you can see that, so easy, so smooth compared to your industry standard adjustment for the seat and for the handles as well. And so that means if you're a family, if you can only afford a couple of bikes, and I say only because I mean, you know, it's not cheap, then at least if you're a family of 4, you can adjust these things so everybody gets to ride one. It's genius. You've also got Schwalbe tires, one of the best out there, and it also comes with tire puncture resistant fluid that goes inside, and you can actually change up the tires as well to go for sort of thicker, more off-road style wheels, which if you need that, that's a great option to have. Actually, whilst we're back here, I also want to show you, I don't know if you've seen this here, this is a cool little contraption. When you fold up this bike, usually with folders, they can be a little bit difficult to get them to catch into the little slot that they need to make them hold together. Sometimes they don't properly hold. Well, this is a magnet, and what it does is when the other side folds onto this, it actually allows the bike to move a little bit. So if it goes over like a pothole or a bump in the pavement, this is gonna keep your bike connected to itself. So you're not gonna have any issues when you're walking with this thing. And to add, just another lovely little feature here for when you're moving this thing around when it's folded is this wheel, so that you can just cart it around with no problems. It's fantastic. We're gonna show you some footage of that right now. No. Bonus point goes to MiRider because they have included a removable battery. That is something we bang on about here at Electroheads. That was bad. Removable! Don't remove it like me. And look, you just pop it back in again. Smooth. What about the range? Well, MiRider claim that this can do up to 45 miles on one charge, and that is if you're going at level 1 assist. So I'm actually going to give this a little bit of a range test over the next few weeks, and I'm going to report back to you guys. So let's go to that. Range-wise, bearing in mind last I checked, I weigh around 63 kilograms, and I've been riding during the British summer when a battery performs better, and have been riding around London roads, which are mainly flat with some steep hills. I've managed to hit around 40 miles using level 2 and 3 pedal assist. That's absolutely bang on what MiRider have been claiming, and I've been using the boost button on hills and at every single traffic light. There's a lot of those here. But I want to share a really cool tip with you. If you buy an e-ride with a display that only shows bars of charge, it can leave you second guessing what range you really have. Whilst the MiRider One does have this, you can get a much more accurate reading by pressing the power button a few times, and you can see VOL, which stands for voltage, and on the right here it says the exact amount of what you have left. So although my power bar is telling me I barely have charge, I've got a whole bunch left. One thing to note is the brakes themselves, they're not hydraulic, they are cable. However, they're really decent. I'm going to test it out. You ready? Not bad, guys. Woo, bye Cole. He's currently on a one wheel right now, so that was fun. And finally, I want to talk about just the power behind this bike and the assist that's available. So I actually am really comfortable on assist 3. This is a single speed bike, and it just manages at 3 really beautifully. You go up to 5 and it really has a kick in terms of getting up to speed really fast. So it's really great in that respect. There is a bit of a delay when you start pedaling to get that power behind you, but that is where MiRider have basically introduced the throttle. So this is a power assist throttle, which only works when you start pedaling, so it is legal. You can also use this when you are walking along with the bike, and it only goes up to 4 miles per hour. So when you're at the traffic lights and you want to get a good head start on everyone else, just start pedaling, push down that throttle, and it gives you a nice little boost to get you away at the lights. Right, let's go on to point number 2. I want to talk to you guys more about how genuinely easy this is to fold and roll. Number 3, this thing is damn comfy. First up, there is ergonomic seating, and I do have a pretty bony bum, so it says a lot that I am actually riding this comfortably. It's also got added to it rear suspension, and that is just an incredible addition to have when you're riding about in cities, just a little bit off on the urban trails, when you've got those potholes, when you've got those bumps in the roads. It really does make an impact. It's genuinely so cushy to ride. But reality check, I am used to bigger wheels. Oh, sorry. So this was a little bit of an adjustment for me to get onto this thing and get used to the style of ride. The thing is, it probably is one that I need to get a bit more used to, have a bit more practice with, just to feel really safe and confident when I'm taking those like tighter turns. I find it a little bit harder to take my hand off the handlebars when I'm going at speed, but if you're a more experienced rider, I think that's something that is not gonna throw you off. So, you know, different bikes for different people. Number 4 is brand confidence. So this bike is built and designed in the UK. In fact, the frame itself is shipped over from Asia, but everything else is UK owned. They actually build this thing in Wigan, and it's all built by one person, genuinely from start to finish. And in fact, there's actually a really lovely little label on the frame here with the signature of the person that has built your bike. So that it's really lovely how they personalized their bike and their brand by doing that, which actually takes me on really nicely to my final point, and that is aftercare. So you do get 2 years of warranty on the bike, and they cover everything. There are some brands that don't cover the battery or the motor. MiRider cover every single part of this bike. Currently, MiRider have a dealer network of 150 retailers, and all of those stores are able to fix up your bike or get in a part for you should you need a replacement or a bit of maintenance done to it. Currently, it is just in the UK, so all of you lot watching in Europe or America and wider range.
Yeah, geography.
Unfortunately, at the moment, it's not available, but MiRider are in contact with a lot of dealers over in Europe, and hopefully as the brand get bigger and they sell more of these, they're going to expand across the world. World domination. Just one thing to note, the motor itself in this bike isn't actually as quiet as a lot of other electric bikes that I've tried on the market. It's not hugely noticeable, it's just a little nitpick from me, but it is something to keep in mind if you're looking for something that is really smooth and silent. I mean, it is smooth and silent, but what I'm trying to say is you can hear the motor. You can hear the motor run, especially when you accelerate. Can you hear this? Remember in the intro I was speaking about that brand new product from MiRider that I want to show you guys? Well, seeing as we've run through this bike, let's take a quick look at what their new product has to offer. Come with me. This is the GB3. So MiRider have taken all their experience, all their knowledge, all the feedback from you guys at home and have put their all into making this bike, and there are some key features that I want to quickly point out. And as we were talking about 5 things you need to know about the MiRider One, let's do 5 upgrades on the GB3. First up, you have Kevlar belt drive, okay? Second up, you have 3 gears. Number 3, you have a silicone seat, incredible comfort. Number 4, hydraulic brakes. Number 5, a LCD color display. There is so much that I can talk about right now, but I want to know, do you guys want to hear it? Let me know down in the comments. Should I do a review of the brand new GB3? Come on, comment, let me know. Say, Eilis, review it, or don't, whatever you want. But to conclude, for the electric folding bikes that are currently on the market, the MiRider One really does stand up against a lot of what is available currently. I mean, GoCycle, they are sort of kind of like the pinnacle of folding bikes, but it costs so much money. The MiRider One is a fantastic option. It really feels like you're getting value for money with tech that is far more akin to what the GoCycle has to offer. So this is something actually really worth trying if you're in the market for a folder, if you're looking for a folder that's great for you, your partner, your family, because of its adjustments and its accessibility. It's a really great option to check out. So make sure to hit them up and find out if this is a bike for you. And that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, if you want to see more on this one right next to me, then drop a comment down below. Don't forget to hit like because it really helps with the algorithm, and I'll see you very soon.